Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ashala Yardley's YouTube channel. And we're also streaming live on Rumble. So lovely to see you here today. We are going to be taking audience questions as we do every Tuesday on these live Q&As. So I'm Ashala Yardley, and this is my lovely daughter, Crystal.
Hi,
And
everyone.
we
Welcome.
are teaming up to bring you insights and tune in with all of our collective energy to get clear on some, profound questions and answers about what's going on in our world right now and what is coming through the collective consciousness as being important to look at today. So we love your participation. Please leave a comment. If you're watching the afterplay, leave us a comment and let us know how this landed for you today, how meaningful it was for you. How are you feeling today, Crystal?
Yeah, it's a good Tuesday.
It is a good
Yeah,
Tuesday.
feels good. Gotten quite a lot. It's been a full morning already, as it often is, and also always exciting to tune in on Tuesdays. I feel like it really aligns us all and sets us up for the week.
It really does. Hi, Ricky and Murdoch. Hi, Early Morn, Solstice Sparkle, and Perla, Yvonne, and of course, Lupo and Pat. And
hi, Pat.
Yeah, so lovely
Everyone.
to see you all.
Really nice. Thanks for being here.
Before we take questions, I did do a pretty long description yesterday about what was in our recent newsletter in my forecast. If you haven't seen the weekly forecast, go back over and check it out. It was really a powerful one. I went over time. I talked for like an hour and 15 minutes, but there was a lot to say and a lot to process. And so, what I want to bring your attention to, if you didn't catch that, is what's new on our website. So we're just going to pop over there briefly and starting with new membership options. So if you haven't heard already, on our website, Eye of the World, there are memberships that give you access to all of our content. You get all the courses free of charge, the pre-recorded classes. And there's, 14, 15 of them right now. There's going to be several more coming up in the next few months. So an annual pass is going to give you literally potentially dozens of courses. And also you have access to live virtual events with us on our Crystal Does a Sunday Social. Do you want to just quickly tell people what that's about?
I'd love to, yes. Once a month, I do a Sunday social. It's a gathering of our members to come and have some nice sharing time, get to know each other a little deeper, beyond this chat space where we can really tap into each other's energy more and just share some realness about where we're at in life and be what community is meant to be, which is support and celebration for each other. And there's a lot of that happens, and there's a lot of heart. And it's really such an honor to host them every time. I want to just spend all day with you. And it's an offering of our time to our
over there
to our really incredible members that are here. So
this is the Member Sunday Social. So once a month, and usually we will do I will do another offering. There's going to be a tutorial coming up in April, so I'll be telling you about that next week. And these socials and events are virtual, like you're literally going to be on Zoom together, so you'll be able to meet virtually, some of you, for the first time. And then, of course, also, here's my trip to Egypt, where there's still one space left, 46 days till we go on Saturday, May the 9th to May the 19th to Cairo, Luxor, and Aswan. Yeah, there's so much to say about that. If you check on this channel, you will see Tanya and I did a recent discussion, a recent live show about it. So there's more about that there. But back to the memberships for a moment. No, not members. Sorry. Back for a sec.
I'm not watching.
Okay, she's not watching. There we go. Back to the memberships. So the new things that we have here is a monthly unlimited tuition, which just renews once a month. You can cancel anytime. That is $11.11 Canadian. Our annual unlimited tuition, that we still have a 30% off discount coupon here on the left, and that works out to $77 Canadian for a whole year of access to all of the events, the meetups, the community members forum, discounts on services, the blogs, meditations, on and on and on. And this is the latest one, is this annual membership plus bonus reading with yours truly. So for the price of basically what it would cost to have a reading with me on our platform, $222 Canadian dollars, you get a reading and also an annual pass.
All that comes with the annual unlimited tuition.
So there we go. Lots to share. And if you have subscribed and you didn't get our newsletter, please check in your promotions folder on your email, because I don't know that they all get through to people. I think a lot of them go into promotions folders. And
if you find one of our emails in promotions, you simply click on the email and drag it over to where it says inbox. Nope, drop it in there and it'll continue to go to your inbox thereforth.
Wonderful. Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring the cards up and let's bring the questions.
Can we tune into the comments just quickly to see if anyone has shared anything before we start? If there's any more anythings that are coming in. There's another question.
Yeah.
Super.
Oh, Tammy is saying, good to be here with everyone. Yes. Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy. So nice.
Hi, lovelies. Missed this crew.
Aw.
Glad to see you both. Aw. Everybody saying hello to everybody over here.
Just hit the like button. Love it. Whoops, just hit the like button. Thank you.
Yeah, lovely.
Have another Canadian question.
Okay, we're starting your questions there. And
awesome. Thanks, everyone.
And there are meows going back and forth between the kitty cats. So not only do we meet each other on the virtual Zoom calls, but we meet each other's
animals are here too.
Four-legged beloved family members.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Hiya. Yes, our background.
Tammy is saying, such a gift to do these readings complimentary with the annual membership at that price point, because, well, as I said yesterday, it's designed that way because I really am so deeply inspired and motivated to encourage people to come on as members, because we've got so much cool stuff planned for the next year and a half, 2 years, and we really want so many of you to have access to that. So
we also want to get to know you more.
Yeah, exactly.
I do, at least. I mean, that's my selfish reason. I'm like, come on, I want to get to know you in a deeper way, because we all learn from each other and we all grow together. And the more that we can be here to, as I said, to go through things and to celebrate things together, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our first question. So Leo has asked a very interesting question, I think, for these times, which is, what is the shadow self here for? To help us or to hurt us?
I suspect you have something to say on it to start.
Well, Crystal's going to be clearing the cards.
I am clearing.
So, for some reason, this is reminding me about health, the bandwidth of health. And so, even going into answering a question like this, of course, I have opinions and my own perspectives on things, but I'm always curious to see what comes through our guidance as we share and tune in collectively. That is new information for me. There's always, every time I answer questions of yours, I learn so much because of what comes through that's unique in the cards. So what this makes me think of your question, Leo, is this whole idea of what is health? What is the bandwidth of health? And I like to say, You know, we have an idea that health is something like you turn a switch on and you're healthy, and then it goes off and you're not healthy. But really, health is like a frequency band. And when you're doing well, when you're having a good day and you've replenished yourself and there's a lot of positivity in your field, that bandwidth can bounce up quite strong. But then it gets compromised by challenge, by trauma. It could be that you're on a cycle of growth and healing where suddenly you're tapping back into an old trauma, and suddenly your health bandwidth goes down because your internal journey is asking you to do some big, heavy work. So that weighs on the bandwidth of health. It doesn't make you unhealthy. It just challenges the frequency. It's harder to hold the frequency as you're going through a big process. Is that correct? Have we all felt that?
I'm not sure what people are saying about it there.
Okay. But have you felt that, Crystal? And I will
Have I felt that? Absolutely. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of talking to bandwidth. I speak about bandwidth in many areas of our lives because, as you say, we are all frequency beings, and there is that bandwidth that exists in all of these polar aspects of ourselves. And there is always that it's parameter building as well, right? Learning what our parameters are and learning to expand our bandwidth in healthy directions. Now, I will divide
Yes,
and
please.
you will put back together.
First one, please. On the
Perfect.
top. Thank you.
Mhm.
And Tammy's saying, a great question. Shadow work is a lifetime journey. I think it does get easier. We do go through, again, if you think about our evolution, not as a straight line, but as a spiraling continuum of cycles. And each time we come back around a trauma node of our life, we go through some challenging kind of frequency,
Mhm.
like reverberation, right? It's like going through static. And then the bandwidth is, of course, like pulled down a bit. So it just means that we need to really support the healthy bandwidth as we're going through those processes. And the mind is the worst. I was just going, the mind is the worst enemy. We got the Three of Swords. The mind is the worst enemy because the mind immediately starts building a narrative. Oh no, here we go again. Things are bad. I thought I dealt with this. You know, oh, I must have done something wrong. Oh, some entity is attacking me. And I'm not laughing about this, by the way, because I'm basically talking about myself here, right? Look at this. I'm talking about we all are so trickster pulled into the narratives of quickly building a story, because that's the ego does that to keep us safe. It's like, uh-oh, something bad's happening. I gotta go back into the like filing cabinets of the past and figure out what's going on, make an assessment, and quickly protect myself from any more damage. That's the ego's job. But we want to be able to kind of come in with the higher self overriding that ego response to say, whoa, 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 this is shadow work. Oh, the shadow's here. Oh, this is, get curious when it presents itself. You could be thinking you're doing well, and then all of a sudden, wow, you stepped in another big poop pile, right? What are you seeing with the cards, Crystal?
I'm seeing that particularly right now, we are being, I want to say, compressed into the development of our spiritual foundation. This Seven of Wands with this Four of Wands here, if we take these away and we look at that and we look at this journey into the shadow, and that there's something here where it's like the more that we um, work at learning how to transmute our shadow, the more that we become comfortable in the flow, in the unknown, because the wheel of fortune, that unknown will always come in. It will all, we can't control. No, it doesn't matter how much shadow work you do, there's still going to be unknowns that come up. There's still going to be these sticky parts of the world of interactions with other people. So how is developed is your spiritual foundation, and that's not just the spirituality, but it's like the four pillars of who we are: earth, air, fire, water. It's elemental, it's spiritual, physical, emotional, all of that. And so the this shadow coming in, does it hurt us, or does it, the question there, was, does it hurt us or does it serve us, right? And I feel like, because we are in a 3D world, the shadow, it's a messenger,
Mhm.
and it depends on what you do with it that will either serve us or hurt us, right? Depends on how you work with it, depends on what you feed this this shadow aspects of yourself. So when we honor that this is part of our foundation building and not our whole story, that it is what gives us the grounds to be able to navigate through the unknowns in life.
Yes,
Mhm,
absolutely.
mhm.
Well, and there's Murdoch is asking to further this question: do we need to know what the shadow is before we do the shadow work? And based on these comments that are coming in, and also what we've both been saying up until now, it feels like the shadow has a purpose. And it is, we've
Hmm.
talked about the part of us that is the ego trying to protect us from discomfort. So, for example, we could be triggered by something, and it reminds us of a thing that happened before. And that is our old shadow. It can be from this lifetime, it can be from a past life, it can be an ancestral memory that we're just carrying around in our body. There's so much of it.
Mhm.
We've lived in shadow time for thousands of years here on planet Earth now. Before that, we lived in a golden age, a beautiful time that slowly descended down into this darker, shadowy realm of materialism and
Mm.
individuation.
Mhm.
And that time is necessary for us to learn about who we are, what we're made of. So the shadow, I believe, is that, as Crystal said, it's that initiator, that messenger, the trickster that's poking us to look at the things that are ready to be healed now. So I think of it almost as that, well, someone is asking, is the devil the naked truth? I feel like the devil is pointing to the naked truth.
Mm.
The devil is saying, look here, look here, look here. Not because you're flawed and you're bad, because you're carrying a whole collective energy of shadow from all that we've been through in the last several thousand years. And this work is going to be ongoing, I think, for 2 or 3 generations into the
I
future. I
agree
don't think this is going to be
wholeheartedly.
quickly solved. In
Mhm.
fact, if you look at the Yuga cycle, the next 2,500 years is all about healing. It's all about healing from the last 7 or 8 thousand years. So healing and revealing.
Mhm.
So I think that devil energy reveals to us where the healing work that's most required is today. And we want to keep our health overall really strong, because it's kind of like the rainy day phenomena, isn't it?
Yeah, and our health is, I'd love to pull up Butterfly's comment too. I had something to say about that.
This one here.
Yeah, our health is one of these pillars, right? It's like, what is the spiritual foundation that we're building? Our health is one of those pillars too, that is a part of our spiritual well-being, because our energetic and spiritual and wellness is directly related to our health, right? So it all comes
Mhm.
in together. And what butterfly hummingbird is saying is the shadow is those things about yourself that trouble you. And that's what I was going to say too, is when Word Doc says, do we need to know what the shadow is before we do the shadow work? I would invite you to consider that you do already know, and that um, maybe it's just taking some time and courage to listen, because I think that we're really quickly becoming more and more open, intuitive beings, and that shadow is going to show you when it's time to be worked on. You're going to know, and we just need to, be able to be honest with ourselves and have the
Mhm.
courage to and gather the tools as to which, like, how to work with that. One
Mhm.
of the aspects of we worked with one of the aspects of shadow or some unconscious patternings this morning, and it's like it can be a practice to
Make you stronger.
make you stronger. Like, I
Mhm.
know that I have this shadow aspect of myself and the way that I navigate through this dynamic. So I'm going to try and try and try again to find the highest, most ideal dynamic to work with myself and others in that,
Mm.
instead of just like trying to push the shadow under the rug or shame yourself or the other for having a shadow aspect, right?
Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah, but butterfly, hummingbird, the shadow is those things about yourself that trouble you. Yes, and they're already we're carrying the shadow around like in our pack with us. The traumas, people get upset. They're like, "Oh, that person triggered me. I'm
Mm.
fine. I was fine until they did that thing and now I'm all messed up." Well,
Mhm.
there has to be, what they've done is they've just stepped on the landmine that you're carrying around in your backpack where you
Amen to
got
that.
all these things ready to just pop and they've
Mhm,
just brought one of them to the surface.
mhm,
So if whatever you're experiencing as your own trigger trauma, that is part of the shadow that you're carrying with you. It's not, you're not being ashamed of that, or there's something wrong with you. We've all got, I remember my spiritual, teacher and mentor who does shamanic healing work on people. He said, there's more work in this room that keep me employed for lifetimes. Like we've all got such a big burden of this that we came
mm,
in with at
mhm,
this time. And you could say, oh, what's the point? I'm going to give up. Well, no, because actually, if we give into the process, we learn our strength. We discover our strength. We discover the phenomena of all that junk DNA that we're carrying around. We learn what we're actually made of as we piece by piece allow just a bit of this to come forward when it's the right time, and then the healing happens around that, and then you get better, you get healthier. Your whole bandwidth is going to, by over time, increase, increase, increase. Yes, there's still going to be moments where you go down to very, very restricted health. Your mental health will suffer, your physical health will suffer, but your bounce back will be faster
mhm,
and
mhm,
easier.
mhm.
And John, what do you think?
Lastly on that,
Yeah.
I hear something about don't shame your shadow, claim your shadow, and it feels
Ooh.
like, a lot of us want to shame and, um like block out our shadows, but to claim and nurture it and give it that opportunity to be transmuted into, um, if we look at the devil energy like a fallen angel, it's like working with that, bringing it back up into the lightness, right?
Mhm.
And always there's this call to the feminine here with these two queens, and we're always in the understanding, as you said, Mom, that this is
Mhm.
not just our shadow. This is our ancestry. This is collective. This is
Mhm.
this is the whole burden. And we just have our role, our particular medicine to add to that. So, what a great question.
It's such a
And
great
a shadow
question.
is a shadow because it is an area that blocks light. The bigger the object that blocks the light, the darker things, the darker things are. Mhm.
Yes, so beautifully said. And what we're doing, in fact, and I was looking for Suzanne's comment, for Sunshiny Grease's comment. I think she said something about individuation. The ego and the shadow are about us learning more about our individual nature. And so it's
Nice.
actually a gift to humanity
Mm-hmm.
to, as I said before, we're going to know who we are and what we're made of by doing this work. And instead of being like, oh, I thought I was doing so good, and now look at what's happening. My life is falling to pieces. I remember years ago, another spiritual mentor of mine used to say, when life is completely fallen to pieces, now you're in the magic is really beginning. You're actually at the best point for huge transformation. It's when you're the most vulnerable, when you're the most like you're suffering and all of that. That is when your potential to evolve and grow into the best version of yourself is closest at hand. But it is it's very powerful work at that point, because you have to be so vigilant to stay in the middle zone, like walking a tightrope and not getting
This
pulled
fella.
off. Yeah, that fella.
My tightrope walker.
Yeah. Tempering ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you
Yeah,
so
we have
much.
one more question down at the bottom there. Yvonne, yeah, if you want to
Start that one.
get that ready to rock and roll
Go
just
back up
before
to
we go
start.
back. Perfect.
Okay, so
Thank you
next
so much,
one.
Leo. What a way to start off.
Okay, this is we're going to Canada now. Everybody, come on to Canada.
Come
eh?
on over.
Come on over to Canada. Eh? 1 year since Doug Force passed. The myth is Canada. Okay, the fellow that did the myth is Canada. Question is, did we make a wave of change? If not, will we? Thanks, ladies. Well, that is a powerful movie. If you haven't seen it, check that out. Go look online for it. And did we make a wave of change? If not, will we? Yeah, let's look. That's a great question. I kind of talked a little bit about these sort of questions yesterday on my forecast, because I was talking about there's so much more. I was talking about the slant of media, the spin doctoring. The spin doctoring, I think, Janine and JC say this all the time. It's like the level of spin doctoring is the most activated and heightened with AI and everything going on right now that it's ever been. It's just off the charts. And so it's easy to manufacture a reality. Go ahead, love. To tell us whatever the narrative that is being, promoted given at the moment. Middle one, please. It is easy to make it look like we aren't progressing. And I love these questions because we get to see, are we actually making a wave of change in Canada around Canadian politics? Because just because the noisemakers and the spin doctors are screaming louder and louder doesn't mean that there isn't change happening. Sometimes they have to scream really loud and spin really, off the charts to cover up the hum of change that's coming in from the grass, from the ground floor. So let's get a read on that. Maybe do 3 cards on that. Sure. Are we?
Change to me.
Holy. Well, yes. Okay. So this is positive news. Now, mind you, we don't have major arcana here. So this is it's very kind of low, below the radar, all the little people in all the little places doing all the little things, that's the name of the game. Grassroots revolution is what we want. One of the things you can't do with this revolution of small, which is basically a million people, several million people, 1 billion people around the globe doing these little things that create positive change and healing in their own shadow work. What happens is it creates a buzz or a hum. That frequency band we were talking about earlier starts popping up, and it's a lot harder to drag people around when they're not in low frequency. So spiritual warrior, swiftness in the right direction,
Mhm.
and strategy. So we've got quite a lot of, I want to say, there's been movement in the right direction strategically, at least a couple of things, but there's a lot still to go back and learn about what hasn't been told. So there's going to be more of that historical reevaluation coming through. And then a lot of energy, especially this spring, between now and August. I'm getting, wow, we're going to just see a lot of kind of people showing up, Canadians showing up as they do, which is less about, you know, throwing rocks and yelling in the street. And it's more about doing something tangible, like let's do another convoy to Ottawa or something, right? Like Canadians love to actually do something, like show up in a very tangible way. And it does feel like there will be a rally of some kind, an important rally by the summer that a lot of people will go to. It'll be another one of these things. And again, if we can sort of shift it away from demonstrations, which are so easy to just go in with the military emergencies, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like instead of there being one big demonstration, there ought to be like a million little tiny acts of resistance, something like that, which would be really hard to like, you know, to shut down like across the whole country,
Mm.
you know, not complying to things, that sort of thing. I feel like we're going to start to see that building up. Remember the convoy, everybody. This is how Canadians do it. Like, you know, it wasn't even really on the radar until suddenly everybody and their dog and the farmers and the this and the that are all out on the highway. Like, because if they hear there's something going on and they can do a little part, Canadians like that. I feel,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. I wonder what people are saying about it there.
Yeah, sure. Let's go back up
Perfect.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like the swords, you know, the Seven of Swords is that like well played. This movie was well played. This was a good drop and a strategy, right? For moving energy in a new direction for people to start that journey, yeah, whatever bandwidth they come in on, you know, whatever stream they catch, it's created that buzz, it's created that hum, as mom says, right?
Mhm.
And this is our fire horse card, right, as well. So something is definitely coming in there. I'm going to pull three more. There's our yes card. Yeah. So it feels like it's wakened people up to, there's going to be, again, this is coming in, the Six of Pentacles feels like our new way forward. It feels like our new financial systems that are being birthed. That is all about, like mom said, the grassroots, the small movements that are all about win-win, reciprocity driven, equal exchanges, and that movie coming in has woken people up to, hey, we're ready to, you know, really invest in these systems and up for the fight.
You know, it's so interesting because I can almost hear like our guides giggling or something. They're like, you know, you see the ferocity of Canadians in winter. Like I
Mhm.
keep saying to people, you have no idea. Like if you live down south or in a different country or whatever, you just don't get it unless maybe it's Russia or something. You just don't get it. Like that was seriously cold climate that
Yeah.
rally happened. It was like in the minus 25 to 30 range. Like that is freezing cold. Like you cannot be safe outside. And people showed up in that. What would they do if it was July or August
Mhm.
or September.
Mhm.
Like like how many people didn't go just because it was literally not feasible,
Freezing.
unhealthy for them,
Yeah.
or they didn't have a vehicle that could withstand going that distance in that kind of
Mhm.
temperature.
Mhm.
Like I just feel like we're going to see even another version of how Canada rallies in the summer. Where everybody and their dog and all their kids and all their everything and grandmas and grandpas, and because we didn't have as many, we did have a lot of kids, but we didn't have as many elders
Mhm.
because it was just too cold. Like it was
Totally.
so cold.
Totally.
So
Good things, though.
yeah.
Good things.
And again, it's kind of like don't poke the bear, because when don't mess with the, prairie farmers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are a hardy bunch.
Yeah. LMB says there, I was incredibly proud
Mhm.
of my fellow Canadians. I shed many tears. Me too.
Right? I mean, I'm still, when I think back into it, and it's just like, think about that. That was in the -20s to
Mhm.
-30s.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
literally your skin freezes outside in like a matter of like a couple of minutes. Like they would have had, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that there was that kind of turnout for that kind of thing in that kind of weather. Like that is such a testament to the ferocity
Mhm.
of the spirit of people of these lands.
Mhm.
And well, round two. Round two. And if you go to my forecast, I did say within the next 6 months there was going to be another thing that would be at least one or a couple smaller, where they're going to try to push something again on us. I don't know if it's a medical thing or a digital currency thing or a whatever it is.
Yeah.
Digital ID with fingerprints and iris scans or whatever the heck it is. They're going to try to push something else in the, I was getting within the next 6 months, and there's going to be massive pushback. So
That leads into, I think, our next question too, that, yeah, Anna Perella has there. Now, I had something that was coming through when I read that question. When will America end the IRS? And I got something about ending these big systems. And, uh, you know, it's like for us to focus on when will that end, it's like I don't feel that they're going to necessarily end those systems until they have something bigger and nastier to replace it with. So it's like for us to be hurrying to get that system out, it's like so much of our focus and our energy and our time needs to go towards, again, we say it all the time, cultivating the new systems. And just like those systems can come and go as they need to.
well, they
N-
become
none of
redundant.
they become redundant,
Obsolete.
because I like, it's just like if we look at what they're doing with it, it's like it's going to go from that system to another system
So
in to a certain extent. But let's look at the
let's
cards.
look at it anyway.
Mhm.
And with that in mind, right? Let's look at it with that
That
in
was
mind.
just the first thing that came into my
Mhm.
intuitiveness. When will America end the IRS?
Mm,
Truth Media was in Lloydminster for the conference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great memories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that great memories? I mean, what a thing. It's like I never felt in those weeks, I never felt so proud to be a Canadian, and I never felt so ashamed. Right? With the way that our so-called government responded. It was like, oh my gosh. Okay, back to the question at hand here is about the IRS. So focusing on that. Perla and a Perla. Internal Revenue Service. Internal Revenue Service. Okay, I will do the pile
Sure.
system. And I think it's going to be that one, the middle guy. You didn't get that? Oh. Might be a lot to say about this.
Well, we're looking at it. If we could just look at what's coming through there. Let's see here.
I was actually going to do three.
Okay.
Can we just do three?
Yes,
Yeah, let's do three.
absolutely.
Oh, isn't that fascinating? That's kind of like, so the system is already been dismantled or like it's going through a reset. And we could look at this Ace of Swords because it's such a big question. I don't think it's necessarily going to be short time, but it is already shifting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like it's new. And like Crystal said earlier, it's going to be about when we have other things where we don't need it anymore. And what are those other things? It has actually to do more with the economic system, the political system, and the regional, I want to say, like revitalization, regeneration regionally. So instead of it being this big centralized, again, what's going to shift? Everybody says about, the age of Aquarius, we're going into decentralization. We're going away from centralized power dominant models of authority on everything, with taxes, with politics, with economics, with resource management, with community and social development. All those areas are going to be diversified and regionally specific. So even more than states and provinces, we're going to see regions that share all of these factors are going to be working collaboratively, and it's going to be very, very earth-based, very grassroots, like Crystal said.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yes, when are we going to see the end? The end has already happened on some level. I think within a year, we're going to hear, but it can't really go away until we have the new thing built underneath it, is what I'm hearing. Does that, and that's kind of what you were feeling too, Crystal.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back over to the comments here. Okay.
Awesome.
So let's go to our next question. Zipping right along here. Do you think it will still take another 30 to 40 years before we finish the task for which we came to Earth? Ooh, wow, Yvonne, that's a cool question. This gets into so many things. It gets into like, what did we come here to do?
Totally.
And then it gets into, do we want,
the task to be finished?
Yeah, especially if the task becomes really joyful. And the next thing comes in is, how long do you plan on sticking around?
Yeah.
To me, I think about purposeful path, as Crystal calls it, purposeful path. And I think about, wow, even if it's being part of a, what do we call it? The evolution train.
Yep.
Even if it's being part of like a convoy, for example, or something like that. What an extraordinary thing to be part of. Like, you talk to everybody that went, and they said it was the most profound experience of their lives. I mean, to me, that is not something you want to hurry up and get done with. I'm like, that is like, how the revolution is a party. What we came here, the task we came here to do is actually filled with joy. It is so, wow, amazing. Okay, this is past. I was going to do past, present, future with that one too.
Oh.
But you could do a focus if you want.
I feel like it's a big question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, that's just what I was saying. Yep. Oh my gosh, this illustrates it so well. We've come out of quite a long time those of us that are baby boomers, for example, we grew up at a time where things were pretty good. And,
Mm.
with everything was looked after for us. And we got, I don't want to say spoiled, but it was definitely good times. Let the good times roll. And they were. And so, in comparison, this looks like not very good. This time looks horrible, right? In comparison to that, the good times, it's like, wow, we've just lost the plot and now, world's going to hell in a handbasket kind of thing. For us, it looks terrible, but we really want to turn it around and say, oh, actually, this next wave is when we discover the next version of this. It's kind of like the Good Times Roll 2.0 or 3.0, which is the Better Times Roll. Because let the better times roll. The better times is even better than it was before. We had good times rolling back then, but we had a lot of inequality. I mean, we had a lot of, I'm not talking about even gender inequality, just global inequality of rich and poor, haves and have nots. We had exploitation. We had, the beginnings of a nightmare of pollution and just unconsciousness in the way we work with the planet. We had, just pull out any number of things, and the way we were educated was horrible. The way we were disciplined was horrible. So we can do better than that, way better. This is 3.0 coming up here. And we're going to have to go through a little bit of the painful letting go of the good times from here, coming to the end of the road with that and going through this bubble of hard work to get to not only the better times, but the great times.
Well, this I love to see, because this Three of Cups is really prevalent this year. This Three of Cups is the card that I got for my year. And it is also the card that is coming up in everyone's readings that I do right now. And so it's an opportunity for us to, part of why we came to Earth is to celebrate being alive. And so right now there's this opportunity to celebrate the little things, to still find the joys in the sweet spots of life. It's always there. It's always there. Let's not let this take that away. And it might look different than it used to be, but something is happening. Something is happening. And what we've gone through, as Mom said there, it has been strengthening us. And I feel like, yeah, over the next 30 years, I think we're going to be doing a lot more of this. I encourage us to do that. Find the ways to celebrate, find the ways to come together and break bread. Right.
I just think that's such a funny, like that song that's rolling around in my head now from the, whatever it was, 80s, late 70s or something, Let the Good Times Roll. It's like, yeah, it is the better times, the best, the great times. The great times are ahead. So it's worth it, isn't it? Isn't it worth it to go through this growing pain to have the great times ahead? Yeah, sign me up. And in the meantime, it doesn't have to be a mean time or a lean time. It can be amazing. It's going to look different than it looked back there. But wow, this is exciting.
It's also interesting to me, before we finish the task that we came to Earth for, there is a task that is completing here. Whatever, with this devil, the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Wands, well, nines are that synthesis before the completion, right? So where there is something that's completing, that has led us into this deeper, grounded, more strong part of ourselves. And we've had to be in the mess, the chaos, the dark, the shadowy stuff. And to allow for the good times to roll. And so I feel like there is something that's completing right now.
Mhm.
But time is not a linear thing, people. So what right now is, who knows how long that is, right? But I think we're already feeling it. I feel we're already feeling it.
We are so already feeling it. And
Mhm.
we, not everyone is going to have that nice opportunity to be on the pioneers, the thin edge of the wedge, the ones that get the revolution of joy going. But those of us that are, yeah, it's hard work, but oh my gosh, it's also it's great. It feels awesome, and we can celebrate every moment and have a lot of fun along the way doing this.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to just be slogging it.
Mhm.
We got to go with the flow, roll with it. Yeah, the best of times are here, and the great
Mm.
times are ahead. John says,
Mhm.
I think it's the cars. You're right, John. Were we around at the same time? I went to one of their concerts. I think it was like 79 or something. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Wonderful. Anything else to share there, Mama, before we move
I'm
along?
good on that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And we have one more question to round us off to the hour, and
Perfect.
that is from Dens Dunden.
Duns dun dun.
Yeah,
So funny the names that YouTube has given us now.
yeah.
Okay.
So, is it safe to fly? Well, this is a question very dear to my heart because I'm getting on a plane to go to Egypt in another month. And interesting, if you check out that interview with Tanya and I, we talk a lot about this. We talk a lot about what's going, we're getting from our guides, this is the best time for us to do this particular journey. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles, right? Not because the world is, again, similar to what we just saw in the last spread. Like back in the old days, everything felt super safe. A lot of things felt safe. We were very, I want to say, catered to and kind of protected from the big bad, especially those of us in the West, right? After us baby boomers, we were born after the horrors of the wars. And so everybody, our parents, wanted to just protect us from all of that. So we got quite, we got it unconsciously because they were still projecting all their pain and trauma unconsciously on us. But out in the outer world, it looked like, the American dream, right? So this is a different time now. We're going into a time where things are going to feel,
Oh, 2 threes.
yeah, they're going to feel more real, but that doesn't have to mean real bad, real scary. It just means more, we got to be more aware and present in our lives, not just expecting that government, that airline, that border guard, that thing is going to look after us. It's like, no, we're actually going to, our higher self is looking after us,
And the earth is looking
and
after
the
us.
earth
The
is
Great
looking after
Mother.
us.
I feel as though there's something here that's asking for, like, not to get too pulled into the distraction of the chaos. Stay grounded and stay really intentional with why are you flying, how this trip is going to look. And it feels like asking the earth to, it's like what I always say to mom, like, when you're worried, like give your worries to the earth and have that communion, because this to me supersedes this. And then you're looking good. Like this is a great going card,
Yeah.
right? So this, right, the chaos right now is just asking for you to stay grounded, for us to stay grounded, not go anywhere.
Well, and it is actually like there's a window where it's going to be not super ideal,
Mhm.
but, and maybe a 5 week, 5 month at the longest window, but then it's going to open up again. So again, I feel like a lot of these things are tests. I said this yesterday on my forecast. We're going to get a lot of these tests coming down the pipe again. Sort of like, are you going to just go along with the narrative? Are you still going to walk through that like sheep? Or are you going to say no and look for ways around it? And I always remember Anya Kay because she was traveling a lot. Remember Anya, our lovely Polish Anya? She was traveling a lot during the lockdown. And she was going, yeah, they say you can't travel, but if you go through these steps, you just have to work a little harder to make it happen. But she's like, everything is open. The airports are, like she's like, you just have to say, yeah, I'm doing this. I tell people, say to your guides, if this is not safe for me, make it really obvious. Otherwise, I'm going to navigate through the labyrinth and get to my destination because spirit wants me there.
That's right.
If spirit wants you there, the explorer, what you don't want to do is stop dreaming, imagining, visioning, and exploring.
Exactly.
But it's going to be for the purpose of your spiritual growth. And if it's in alignment and spirit wants you there and everything lines up, it's going to be a go, and don't worry.
Yeah.
If it's a no, I tell people, get your travel insurance for sure, because there could be a lot of yes, no, pivot in the moment. But if you're willing to do that, some of us need to continue to do that and be willing to do that, because we don't want to all just go, okay, lockdown. No, we don't want to do that. Tell your guides, if it's going to be dangerous, make it really obvious. Like put a barrier there so it literally can't happen. And then I've got travel insurance, and yeah, it's disappointing and it's inconvenient, but whatever. It's part of the revolution. We're changing the way we travel around this planet and what we have access to. We should all be allowed to go everywhere. This is our home. This earth is our home.
Truth.
And so we're going to spirit, the earth, the land, it's our higher selves, our future selves. It's all working with us.
This is interesting too. This brings us back to like land and water travel. I feel like this says to me like this looks a lot of like sky problems, and this looks like a lot of like land and water travel being really golden. So for us to start planning our ventures, the more that we can invest our travels into places that we can get to via water and land travel, that is probably the best investment of our travel time and money. Makes sense.
Well, yeah, interesting.
And I'm not
digital
exactly, and I'm not sure why you're traveling, but these next 3 look also very good.
Oh,
so I don't know if it's like if you were asking
about
family, visiting family, visiting, going on some sort of a nice couples retreat or something, but whatever the travel is, I'm not sure whatever that question was. If you were asking specifically about a trip, it looks to me like that looks like a good call. Yeah.
John is saying, can we take a leap of faith? Sorry, asking questions again. Well, yeah, it is. Is it a leap of faith, or is it a leap of like sovereign alignment?
Yeah.
It's really like we're not having faith of something outside of us. We're having faith of our inner ability to navigate and to call in, like to make that agreement with your counsel, your personal guidance team. Say, you're going to show me. I'm going to be flexible. I've got my cancellation insurance. I'm going to be flexible. I'm not going to get all wound up about it, but you're going to show me, and I'm going to trust. If the doors are open, even if there's a little bit of challenge, if it's safe, I'll get through that. And if it's not safe, you're going to make it really obvious. Yeah.
Lisa, are we taking any more questions?
I think we're going to probably wait.
We're going to wrap it up
next
today.
week, but come on next Tuesday early and get your question up there at the top of the line. And we love taking questions, and this is has always been so much fun.
Let's have us back.
Let's have us back, shall we? Oh, we're tiny.
We're tiny. Ta-da, ta-da, tiny.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you,
always been
everyone.
So delightful.
Yeah. Oh no, did I miss the time again? Oh, you're so sweet.
These chime changes.
I know.
Sunshine Grace.
All right.
Happy for
So
the backdrop.
this is the creator of our incredible backdrop here. Look at this art. I feel like it's so suiting, so fitting for us. So thank you, Sunshine Grease Girl, for your creations.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Oh, Boy Scout motto: be prepared, right? Be prepared, but also don't be paranoid. Like, be in that, don't be foolish and don't be paranoid. Be in the heart, which is right in the center. And what we are realizing about our trip to Egypt is that we actually are being called there at this exact time to bring the healing medicine of joy and peace, and to reflect to the people, the local people there, that, you know, we're not just abandoning them because they're a little close to the hot spots. We're actually there in solidarity. And what we're hearing is that they're just so overjoyed to have us there.
Yeah.
And that they're so welcoming. And it's almost like we can form even a more special heart-centered connection, because they're like, oh, these aren't just your average Western tourists. These are our people, right? They're coming now. Like, these are people that we could really form a bond with. I think it's going to be extraordinary for that reason.
I feel that.
So, yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, have a beautiful week. Look forward to seeing you my forecast next Monday at 1:00. And that's Pacific time, by the way. So 4:00 Eastern. And here on Tuesday with Crystal, doing our live Q&As every week.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Pacific, so 2 p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern.
Yes.
Blessings to all of you. Big hugs, big love.